Well, Virat Kohli dedicated his Eden knock to God of cricket Sachin Tendulkar, who was there in the stands waving the tricolour, with India not just staring at defeat in the match but also a possible exit from the tournament. Kohli delivered when it mattered. Let's quickly relive Kohli's special knock at Eden. Well, let me quickly bring in our guests in this discussion. Former Indian captain Saurav Ganguly, welcome to our show. Saurav, first of all, congratulations on a very successful hosting of India versus Pakistan World T20 match at the Eden Gardens. It was a great show. And how do you rate Virat Kohli's special knock at Eden? I mean, India was staring at defeat and a possible exit, and he delivered at the greatest stage of them all.
Yeah, firstly, thank you for that. I thought it was a great day at Eden Gardens that night. The atmosphere was electrifying, but I don't agree with you that India was staring at defeat, because, you know, when you're chasing just 117, you just need one partnership. And there were some quality players sitting in the dressing room with Virat Kohli, Yuvraj Singh, MS Dhoni, and, all the guys down the order, Ravindra Jadeja, Hardik Pandya, Ashwin, all can bat. So I never felt India was out. Yeah, but when Kohli bats, everything looks so easy. You know, he's an outstanding player, as I've said for a long, long time. What stands out for me is his hunger. You know, he plays so much of cricket at the moment, and every cricketer plays so much of cricket at the moment. He turns up every day with the same passion and the same hunger to score runs, and he's amazingly consistent in all formats of the game. You know, there's no doubt about his ability, and to me, at the present moment, he's one of the best in the world.
Let me quickly bring in former England captain Nasser Hussain on this discussion. Nasser, welcome to India today. And, Virat Kohli's knock is being compared to the knocks of Sachin in the past against Pakistan in World Cup encounters. Did you personally see shades of Sachin in Virat's knock?
I think it's always unfair to compare anyone with Sachin Tendulkar, really, especially someone like Virat. He'll be very chuffed to be compared with his hero Sachin. I know he said afterwards it was such a thrill for him to play a match-winning innings like that against Pakistan in front of Sachin Tendulkar, but it looked like Virat was batting on a different surface from everyone else. Everyone struggled, the ball was turning and stopping, and the cutters and the spinners, everyone on both sides was struggling. Virat didn't seem to struggle at all. Maybe there was one ball, a sort of cutter that was bowled early, but after that he was imperious in his timing, and he is in the form of his life. You know, he is just an absolute superstar in all three forms of the game. He's batting well, and he's the sort of guy that's hungry, and obviously a magnificent finisher. You give him a target to chase against any side and Virat will chase that down.
Absolutely. Boria, Sachin led us to many victories against Pakistan in World Cups, isn't it? 2003, 2011, and now Virat has done it twice, back-to-back, century in the last World Cup, half century in this World Cup, walking in Masters' footsteps.
Absolutely. I mean, there is no question he is the new talisman, as Saurav said. Saurav used the word, one of the best in the world, I would say on current form, perhaps he is the best in the world. And Nasser used the word imperious, perhaps the word to use as far as Virat Kohli is concerned. You know, the fact is his finishing games, Shobhit, that's the difference. Virat Kohli, even from a couple of years earlier or from last year, now, over the last few months, he's not only getting in, he's finishing matches for India, staying till the very end, and he's soaking in the pressure. He's a man for all situations, and he loves the atmosphere, the pressure, the big occasion, the big stage. That's what is making him so good. Ask Saurav, how would he sort of, you know, given he's captained in so many India-Pakistan matches, ask him how tough it is to perform in such a match under 70,000, in front of 70,000 people, and then to deliver. That's what will help decode Virat Kohli.
Absolutely. Nikhil, Sachin averaged around 40 against Pakistan, but when it came to World Cup matches, his average shot up to about 78. So he rose his game under pressure against Pakistan in the World Cups. Probably that is being compared to Virat Kohli. I mean, give him a challenge and he'll deliver, isn't it?
I think between both the players, of course, Tendulkar being the master, you know, the legendary figure, it'll be unfair to compare him to Virat Kohli because Virat still got a long way ahead. But I think you used the word rose to the occasion. I think that's been the biggest difference, and to me, for Tendulkar as well as Virat Kohli, both these guys come under pressure, give them a situation. Shobhit, these guys would know how to turn on or soak in the pressure and somehow get the best. You know, you throw them a challenge and they'd want to accept it with both arms. They'd be like, fair enough, if I'm batting against some of the best guys in the world, I will show you how to go about getting the runs. And they would literally bat around and everybody else would bat around them. clearly when Tendulkar was around, Tendulkar as well as Saurav Ganguly opening the innings, the glue that bound the Indian batting order together, Virat Kohli in this sort of form is clearly the glue that is binding this batting order together, at least in this World Cup.
Absolutely. And sort of coming back to you, Boria had a question. Let me just put it across to you. You know, so you've batted and led India many a times in the World Cups against Pakistan, in Test matches. How difficult is it when the whole country is expecting you to deliver? And how difficult is it to motivate yourself to go out and first of all value your wicket? See out the pressure situations and then take India across the line.
You know, I think in India, when you play against any country, the whole country expects you to perform. Maybe it's slightly more against Pakistan, which we completely understand. But you know, players of that caliber, someone like Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar or a Rahul Dravid or a Sunil Gavaskar, you know, all these players go through the same thing day in, day out. So the pressure is something which they are used to. I don't think the pressure creates a problem for them. It's about their own expectations on themselves, which is very, very important. I don't think a Virat Kohli or a Tendulkar will get overawed by 70,000 people, because they see that in almost every game. So I don't think that's a problem. The greatness of both of these two is the quality they have. You know, it's the ability they have to play well in tough situations, and that happens with self-belief. You know, both of them have enormous self-belief. I must say the wicket when India batted in the second innings was a lot better than when it was in the first half of the Pakistan innings, because it had rained the whole night. It was 24 hours under cover, that pitch, and it was absolutely moist. That's why it spun so much on the first half of the game. And when I went back to the pitch after the end of the day's play, it was actually an English wicket, which Nasser will agree or will think that when you put your spikes, you know that there's so much moisture underneath that surface. So as the game progressed, as the overs progressed, batting became a lot easier. So I'm not taking anything away from Virat Kohli, but I think he's a class player. I completely agree with Nasir that it's not correct to compare two different eras, because the Pakistan team in Sachin Tendulkar era and this Pakistan team in Virat Kohli's era is chalk and cheese. There's no comparison. You know, the greats like Wasim, Waqar, Shoaib, you know, you just name it, came one after the other. But Virat Kohli, for me, as I've said for a long, long time, is an absolute champion. He's probably one of the best. I disagree with Boria that he's the best at the moment, because I think A.B. de Villiers is special. Look at Hashim Amla's record in world cricket. You will envy his record in world cricket, and there are few around in the world who do that day in, day out. But as I said, he's right up there. He's one of my favorites. And what I like about him is his passion for the game, is his hunger for the game. Every time you watch Virat Kohli on the cricket field, you feel here is someone who wants to win cricket matches. And it just transforms into his performance. His record while chasing in any format is phenomenal. And I completely agree with all of you that he's going to be an all-time great for India in the years to come, or probably in the world.
Absolutely, and Virat Kohli mentioned it in his post-match conference, isn't it, that he loves the challenge, he loves to take on the opposition bowlers and take the country across the finish line. Now, Saurav, yes, many have compared Kohli to Sachin, but do you see shades of Saurav Ganguly in Virat Kohli, given the way he's ready for a fight as well, and he doesn't back off from any challenge?
No, I think he's very competitive on the field. I think that's the similarity you can have between the both. But I think he's a better player than Saurav Ganguly. He looks terrific on the field. As I said, when I see Virat Kohli on the ground and when I see him, getting ready for a match, it's just great to see him, compete so hard. I remember an incident in Australia where he got 100 batting first for India, and it was a game India had needed to win. And I saw him field in that game at covers and at mid-off. He threw everything he had on him to stop every single run, and India finished as winners in that game. And that's what stands out for me for Virat Kohli. No matter which aspect of the game he is, whether he's batting, whether he's fielding, he's a 100% man, and he's blessed with special abilities.
Absolutely. Now, Nasser, if I can come back to you, Virat had said that he was honoured to play the knock in front of Sachin Tendulkar. So that just shows the importance the master had on this Indian team, isn't it? Even after retirement, the players dedicating their knocks to Sachin?
Yeah, I was out in the middle getting ready for the toss, and when they did that pre-match ceremony and you know, Sachin's name was announced, the place just absolutely exploded, and it sort of reminded me of the old days when the crowd started singing Sachin, Sachin. You know, I've been on a field when that noise erupts, and it's great to see that you know, the little master may not be playing anymore, but he's still held very fondly with the India fans. Really, it was magnificent. And you know, Virat, all those years ago in Mumbai, was it 2011, when they were carrying Sachin round on his shoulders, said that famous line of Sachin had carried us around on his shoulders for a long time, it was our turn. And I think that's exactly what Kohli is doing now. He is taken over the mantle, and he's leading in India, whether it be as captain in other forms of the game, but mainly with the bat.
Boria, very quickly, where would you rate this innings of Virat Kohli has come in the list of all the great Indian knocks against Pakistan in World Cup matches?
You know, at the very top, because against Pakistan a knock is always special, because we in the country fancy a victory against Pakistan. Several people on our show, Shobit, said we don't want to win the World Cup, we won it, because that's the Indian sentiment. But just one quick anecdote, in fact, on the day of Sachin's retirement, Virat went and touched his feet and actually gave Sachin something that his father had left him with, saying, this is something my father wanted to give to my mentor, to somebody I respect as much as I did to my father. And Sachin actually started crying, taking Virat and giving him a hug. That's the kind of relationship these two share. They are both great legends. So this legacy that Sachin has left behind will only be carried forward by Virat.
Absolutely. And we are all praising Virat Kohli, but is he even better than the master? Well, is Virat Kohli the best in the world? Well, when it comes to chases and successful run chases, he certainly is even better than the master himself. Let me bring in our guests on this discussion. Former India captain Saurav Ganguly, Nasser Hussain, former England captain Boria Majumdar, a consulting editor, Nikhil Chopra, all here with us. But before I take any comments from our guests, here are some very interesting statistics for all our viewers. When it comes to ODI cricket, here is the list of the top 5 run chasers in the world. Virat Kohli is right up there. He scores at an average of 61, and 15 out of his 22 centuries in ODIs have come while chasing. 13 of those resulted in Indian victories. He's even better than the likes of A.B. de Villiers and the legendary Michael Bevan. And when it comes to T20s, it's even more bizarre. The next best batsman is Michael Hussey, and his average is over 30 runs behind Virat Kohli when it comes to chases in T20s. Virat also has 950+ scores in T20 cricket while chasing. So Saurav, Virat Kohli, the master of chases, and you have chased many totals for India, wearing the Indian jersey. You've led India many a times when we've had to chase big totals, especially that NatWest tournament. We remember. What do you tell the batsmen when they're going out to bat? What is the psychology? What is going on in Virat's mind when he's going out to bat?
I think the most important thing is to not get overawed by the scoreboard. Just watch the ball and keep playing. You have a run rate in mind. And I think cricket has changed a bit. The pace of one-day cricket, of T20 cricket has changed a bit even during our days. So from that point of view, as a batsman, if you're chasing a big total, you just need to play. Unless and until you keep playing and watching the ball and treating every ball on its merit. If you look at 6 or 7 runs and over, it is too big a target. So keep it simple and just look at the job in hand rather than focusing whether we can get to that or not get to that. And I think you're completely right. Virat's record as a batsman in chases is unreal, and some of the games he's won is beyond imagination. I've seen him get 50-ball hundreds in 50-over cricket against Australia, and it's not just any attack. So he's got a huge capability, as you said, and as I say, what stands out for me is his consistency in spite of so much cricket being played around.
Nikhil, were you as surprised as I was looking at those stats? Michael Hussey's over 30 runs behind Virat Kohli in T20s.
The biggest thing is, Shobit, that he's got more than 950+ scores resulting in terms of victory. In T20 game, of course, you have 120 deliveries, and you look at his average. It is incredible. It's like you throw a challenge. Dada spoke about self-belief. Very important. When you go to the crease, when you want to go out there and you want to chase, it's like every time it's 150+ score, Virat Kohli is like, game on, guys. Mentally he's switched on. He says, well, here's a challenge for Virat Kohli. Can he go out there and deliver? Every single time he's delivered. that strike rate and that sort of average, it is absolutely incredible. It's just how much that man believes in his own ability. It's like every time there's an opportunity that the world is creating that sort of opportunity, throwing those challenges, and every single time, you know, he's performing on expected lines, which is the most difficult thing in sport. Keep performing on expected lines, because as you keep performing, the expectations grow, Shobhit.
Absolutely.
That's the most difficult thing in sport.
Absolutely.
Keep performing on expected lines.
And he is delivering match in and match out. Boria, were you surprised that he's even above the likes of the legendary Michael Bevan, who many consider to be the best chasers that the ODI cricket has ever seen?
Shobhit, Virat is no longer leaving any scope to be surprised. He's doing everything which is unreal. You know, that 83 average is like Sir Donald's 99 in test match cricket. One can expect everything and anything from Virat Kohli given the years to come. He's still got 5, 6, 7 years of top class batsmanship left in him. So one wonders where he'll finish in the 50 over format and in the shorter format of the game.
Nasser Hussain, were you impressed by the way Virat Kohli constructs his innings and goes about chasing high totals? And especially, let's just talk about this innings at Eden Gardens. Were you impressed by Virat, the way he constructed his innings?
Yeah, Virat played his innings perfectly, really. I mean, sometimes when you lose early wickets, as India did, people go into their shell, but he didn't really. I mean, he left good balls, but when they bowled him bad balls on his pads especially, he clipped them away. There was a beautiful back cut for 4. He just cut the ball and found timing that no one else has found. He was aided in a good partner in Yuvraj came in and they settled together. Yuvi showed his experience and neither of them panicked. The Pakistan spinners didn't bowl as well as the Indian spinners, so that they weren't as tested, but still you have to be a special player that sort of soaks up the pressure as he seems to do. And he said afterwards to me, I think on interview, that he gets a lot of pleasure, that 40 odd that he got you know, in the last game, the Asia Cup game against Pakistan, was one of his best knocks, and the other evening was also one of his best knocks.
But Nasser, what quality sets Virat apart from the other batsmen?
I think it's just the fact that once you've done it once or twice or 3 times, then you know exactly that experience of, you know exactly what you need to do, and the fact that you've done it before and you don't panic. You neither go too early or too late. You exactly the right time to pounce. And maybe in my era it was Michael Bevan, and Bevan was exactly like that. You'd think sometimes, well, he seems to be taking his time, and then all of a sudden he knew exactly what he was doing, and he'd find a partner and get the job done. And the same with Kohli. The experience and the fact that he's done it on a number of occasions, and also the opposition, you almost get a feeling when you were playing against Bevan, you get a feeling, crikey, not Bevan again. And I'm sure the opposition now must think, crikey, not Kohli again. He knows exactly what he's doing, and stats don't lie. Those sort of stats don't lie. He's so far above the rest. You know, he's got to be one of the greatest chasers of all time, and that's again a pressure thing. Under pressure, when you need to deliver, sometimes people get runs in the first innings when it doesn't count so much, but when you need someone to deliver and win you games, that's what the likes of Kohli do. They win you games. You know, that is a great asset to have in your team.
Well, Virat Kohli's special knock has revitalized Indian campaign in this World T20. However, the Pakistani campaign appears to be in trouble. Is it the end of the line for Shahid Afridi after this World Cup? Welcome back. The rift within the Pakistan team is now out in the open after they lost to India, and Shahid Afridi could well be the first casualty of that. Sources within the Pakistan Cricket Board have told India Today that Afridi is on his way out after the World T20. Now, India Today had learned that PCB is convinced that Afridi will announce his retirement after the World T20, and if he decides against it, the all-rounder will be stripped of his captaincy. Now, remember, all this happened after Imran Khan's meeting with Umar Akmal that we can see on our screens at this moment. This was before the match against India, and in this video, we can clearly see Umar complaining to Imran about his batting position. Imran actually tells someone off camera that Akmal should bat at number 3. We did see Akmal come up, but at number 4. However, all the pressure has now come on the captain Shahid Afridi. Earlier questions were whether Imran had undermined the captain, and now reports have emerged that there is that the Pakistani camp is divided into various smaller groups. It's not a united camp anymore. Saurav, coming to you very quickly. First of all, the pressure is on Afridi, but the bigger question: should Umar Akmal have complained to Imran Khan, the Pakistani legend, about his batting position, or should that decision have been left to the team management, that is the captain and the coach?
To be honest, I really don't have any confirmed news whether Umar Akmal has actually complained to Imran Khan and in what context he has spoken. So I don't think it would be fair for me to make a comment on that. And I think Umar Akmal batted at number 4. I don't think there's a big problem in number 3 or number 4, and I don't think Pakistan is losing because of that. And finally, I would want to say that, you know, the rift, this is a very common situation which arises with the media when an India or a Pakistan team has not been playing well. And in terms of Shahid Afridi, I think it's just the start of the tournament. He's just lost 1 game against India. He's got 2 more games to play, New Zealand and Australia. And if at all the Pakistan think tank is thinking of taking him off his captaincy, I'm sorry, this is not the time to think about it, because he's still got 2 games to go, and if Pakistan beat New Zealand, beat Australia, they qualify. The time is for everyone to back Afridi. So what if they have lost to India? It's just 1 game in the tournament, and they've got 3 other teams to play and make it into the semi-final. So all these talks, if at all it is happening at this moment, is rubbish, and whoever is doing it needs to show a lot more maturity, because when you have picked a captain, you are supposed to back him.
All right, Saurav Ganguly, thank you so much. We've run out of time now. That's all we have on this segment. Saurav Ganguly, thank you so much for joining us. Along with Nasser Hussain, former England captain, Boria Majumdar, a consulting editor from Kolkata, thank you so much. And Nikhil Chopra, always a pleasure having you here in India today.
Talking about Team India and T20.
To do for your preparation. So I think there has to be a good balance between everything. So I think awareness counts big time in big tournaments. So does.
पैसे वाले बाबू मेरा बजट बना दो, पैसे वाले बाबू मेरा बजट बना दो, बजट बना दो, बजट बना दो, पैसे वाले मेरा बजट तू बना